How's everybody today? All right, thanks for coming. How many of you are familiar with Ayurveda? Raise your hand really strong. Okay, kind of ish, yeah? All right, good. So for those of you who are not, Ayurveda is an ancient science. It's considered the sister science to yoga and Tantra. And it really brings a practical perspective to our lives as far as how to live it so that we don't suffer. I think that's it in a nutshell. Would you agree with that? And it's a very vast science. Medical science, our neuroscience is now starting to validate Ayurveda more and more and more. The more we learn about our neurotransmitters and our gut-brain connection and all the things that we're just discovering now, the more it gets validated. So it's very exciting. It's a very exciting time. I really feel like Ayurveda is going to continue to gain a lot of momentum and popularity in this culture as time goes on. So you're right at the beginning of the curve. You know, Ayurveda is going to become a buzzword for those of you who are not familiar with it. So pretty darn exciting. I wanted to start by, first of all, getting a sense for what your chief complaint is. Now, if that makes you anxious and you don't want to share, don't. It's really okay. I want you to be completely comfortable during this process. So all I'm going to do is we're going to go around the room. Just say your name and what your chief complaint is. Why are you here? All right? And I'm going to scribble it down. We'll do it in green because this is a calming color. All right. Would you like to go first?
My name is Emily. I would say it's mainly stress at school as a grad student.
At school. Forgive my writing. Okay.
I'm Nicole, and I'm looking forward to Emily Marks this past week. School has been very stressful.
Spell your name for me.
Nicole.
Ditto. Okay.
Kirsten.
Spell that, Kirsten.
Kirsten. And I have a 17-year-old and a 20-year-old. One has multiple health issues, and the other one decided to be a boxer because my life was stressful.
Boxer and multi-health issues. So your kids stress you out a little bit, or a lot.
My name is Betsy and Ditto.
How old are your kids?
22 and 19.
You do the boxer part?
Close enough. Same thing.
My name is Kim, and I am with my daughter. We were shopping.
All right, so you don't have a chief complaint? Everything's great?
Everything is great, but I don't really have no.
You're doing pretty good. Okay. All right, so we got a little star here.
I'm Nicole. That's not why.
I have to say stress from school and work.
School and work. What kind of stress?
It's probably wrong for balance and everything.
Balance. The big juggling act.
Okay, I'm Chris, and with a K.
K-R-I-S, right?
And I have a lot of preparatory anxiety.
Preparatory? Okay. Give me an example.
I'm going to go to a conference, and I'm worried about it before I get there. What am I going to do? How many clothes do I have to bring? How long is it going to be? Do I have enough to do? Oh my God.
All right.
And when I get to the conference, everything's fine. So it's all a preparation.
All right. Makes sense.
Hi, I'm Susan.
Hi.
I would say stress at home.
Home. People.
People and We had a miscarriage last month.
Okay. All right. So that's tough. Well, welcome, Susan.
I'm Julie, and grad school.
That's your chief complaint?
Well, psychotherapy experience, well, the answer is psychotherapy. So this is good because this goes along with, like, we did a Cleveland Clinic outreach thing at Euclid, but like the nurses couldn't pronounce Ayurveda, they don't know. And I've heard of it, I'm familiar, but I don't know a lot.
So your graduate program is in psychotherapy, and you're trying to see what this is about so that it can be kind of integrated.
With school, with the process.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay. Great.
Hi, my name is Kim. I would say I worry about things. I worry about my family. I worry about the people I support at work. I worry about deadlines. And that causes me anxiety.
Do you feel like you rush all the time? All right.
And how am I going to get it all done?
Full plate. Anybody else have a full plate? All right.
Stephanie, and I would say my chief complaint is stress at work, school, and home.
Are you a student or a teacher?
I am actually back in grad school.
Ah. Work, school, and home. What causes your stress?
I think that I don't have time to relax.
Time constraints. All right.
So my name is Charlotte, and my biggest stressor is probably school as well, and just trying to balance that out with life as well.
A school life balance?
Yeah, school life balance, social life balance is with family and friends as well.
Great.
I'm Anthony. Balance everything in my life out. Worrying too much there.
Okay. What do you worry about, Anthony? You don't have to share if you don't want.
It could be anything. Like it'll be one thing, I'll just start worrying about that, and then we'll go to the next thing, and then I'll kind of forget about that. It's like I kind of have to always worry about something.
Okay, so this is a habit.
Yeah.
All right. And your mind just jumps from one to another. Okay, what can I worry about next?
Kind of,
Yeah, kind of. Okay.
I'm just a worrier. I worry about family, I worry about home, I worry about work.
What's your name?
My name is Janice.
Worry. All right. Everything.
Lori,
Spell it for me.
R-I-E. Medical issues, anxious about, and being treated for anxiety and depression. And,
Job loss. All right.
I'm Jessica. I am pretty much just a chronic worrier, anxious person, so I'm hoping to be a second relaxation strategy.
All right. And you need to relax. Hard to relax? Impossible to relax?
I'd say having a little more possible, but for a long time I'd say impossible.
Okay, good. So you're eking along. All right, great.
My name is Amanda, and probably just trying to be present completely in all the different areas and to be present for everyone, taking care of everyone.
Yeah, and you do.
Be a perfectionist.
Ah, yes. Anybody else a perfectionist? Let me see a show of hands. Really high. All right, that's really a common trait that goes together with anxiety. Like, am I doing it okay? Is it all right? So it looks like everyone's in pretty good company. I'm Kathy, and I have to be productive all the time. What can I do next? So my mind's going all the time, and turning it off is a godsend. You know, when I could turn it off and go, oh, I don't have to do anything. So here we are. Oh, by the way, Amanda does take care of everybody. She's the owner of the studio, and she's amazing, and she makes sure you don't have to worry about any of the details because she takes care of everything. She's just remarkable. So give her a nice, doing very fine. Okay, so let's go into some of the science of anxiety, not to create more anxiety, but so you can understand why it's so important to deal with it. Essentially, we have two branches of our nervous system. We have our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system. Everyone familiar with this? Okay, I won't get into too much detail then. Our sympathetic nervous system is our fight or flight, and that turns on like that, just on. If you get frightened, or if you anything that can startle you, or you get bad news, or you're in a traffic jam and somebody does something stupid, it can fire and all of the systems turn on. And what that does is it elevates your blood pressure, your heart rate goes up, your digestion turns off, blood is shunted from your internal organs to your muscles, and it doesn't allow your body to repair and restore. Often we get stuck in this branch of the nervous system. And that, in a nutshell, is what we're trying to undo. And we can determine whether or not we're stuck in that branch of nervous system. Okay, so the other side of it is our parasympathetic dominance, and that doesn't turn on suddenly. It's a gradual process, and most of the time it's a multifaceted approach. Through breath, through relaxation, through actually, changing and calming the mind, through all of the things we're going to learn today and more. We have 2 hours to discover some of the techniques and tools that we can use ayurvedically to start to engage that parasympathetic dominance. Now, one or the other is not good or bad. We need both for survival. We need to have a hearty stress response, but we also need to be able to downregulate into that rest and digest parasympathetic dominance. Does that make sense? Okay. So I mentioned that digestion is negatively affected. And does anybody feel like they're stuck? They're always on, they're really nervous, they constantly, who feels most stuck? Who would say that they're probably the most stuck? Lori, would you mind if I did a demonstration on you? Lay in the middle of the floor. This is a way to determine whether or not you're stuck or not. And it doesn't work on everybody. I'm going to touch you, okay? All right. So we're going to test Lori's strength. So I want you to hold your arm up really strong and don't let me push it down, okay? Ready? Push, 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 push. Now, relax. When I put my hand on her navel, that strength should downregulate and she should get weak. All right? And if it's stuck on, she won't be able to. All right? So let's try it again. Push really strong. Okay, now push really strong. Oh, she did downregulate. You're okay. That means you're not stuck. It means that you can let it go. Did you notice the difference?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, huh? Does anybody else want to try this? Come on over here, Chris. Yeah. As the neuroscientist, she's a neuroscientist. So it's a little bit interesting to teach about neuroscience to a neuroscientist. Okay, now really strong. Don't let me push you. Ready? Come on. Okay, now that's pretty strong. And? Okay,
Yeah.
you want to try again, or did you notice that there was a difference?
There wasn't any difference.
You were weaker, right?
No.
Okay, let's try again. Push. Okay, push. Ah, you are stuck.
I'm very stuck.
Okay, all right.
So you're saying like you're pushing here and you're pushing here and they're both staying contracted?
I'm just, there's energetics. There's a lot of energy that comes off the hand, and there's a lot of energy that comes off the navel. It's like a battery. Yeah, as soon as you put them together, they should repel and create weakness. And then if you hold it there, it doesn't work anymore, but it is a way to check. Yes, please.
I can tell you, I have PTSD, so that's probably why I'm stuck.
Yeah, well, so getting you unstuck is going to be tricky. So we're going to try some techniques and then get you unstuck. All right, ready? Really strong, super strong. She's super strong. Ready? Go. She's still pretty super strong. Let's try this again.
Does that mean that's the goal? To like
Yeah. Okay, so right here you are. Press. Okay, now you were super strong. Now what happened? Give it up. Okay, now. Oh.
It's like trying to.
I think you're okay.
Okay, good. Oh,
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, so that's a way. Anybody else chomping at the bit to try this? Okay. All right, so long-term consequences of anxiety. We know that our digestion gets compromised. When our digestion gets compromised, we're not able to absorb our food. And then we start to have problems with our metabolism. Every system in the body doesn't have the ability to rejuvenate itself optimally. Our cardiovascular system, when we're stuck, when we're anxious, it's overtaxed. And over time, that can cause all kinds of problems. Again, stress is one of the number one killers for people with heart disease and other diseases, chronic diseases, right? When we cannot digest our food, we become depleted. All right? And so our bones, our nails, our hair, our skin start to look depleted. And if you want to look beautiful, you have to get rid of your stress. Nervous system, obviously, when our nervous system is always on, it becomes frazzled. And we'll get into how that looks ayurvedically. And our immune system starts to take a nosedive. Our ability to heal, our ability to attack any foreign invaders. Stress and anxiety. There's new science about our microbiome, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but all of the cells that you are, the trillion cells that you are, your microbes, the bacteria, yeast, fungus, that are hosts on your body, exist on your skin and in your gut. There's more of them than they are of you. And when you're in a chronic stressed state, the good microbes that help to support your health start to go down, and the bad microbes start to go up. And your microbiome is responsible for the majority of your immune response. Okay? Pretty important stuff. And then obviously, everyone has indicated that they're here because their quality of life isn't exactly where it needs to be. They would like to be able to chill out. They would like to be able to relax and not be a perfectionist and not stress and not worry. And, just really be in a state of peace. This is true? All right. Well, let's do a little exercise. Does anybody have any questions yet? Everybody good? Let's just do a quick little exercise to start to downregulate that nervous system, okay? So this is called alternate nostril breathing, and for those of you who do yoga on a regular basis, understand how to do this, but maybe not why. The right nostril is tied to your sympathetic nervous system, and the left nostril is tied to your parasympathetic nervous system, okay? So as we alternate our breathing patterns through the nostrils, we're actually able to manually bring ourselves back down into a less sympathetic dominance. We start to downregulate into parasympathetic, okay? So let's take our right hand